What yet, ladies and gentlemen, Lycos here, and today I'm going to be doing a brand new playthrough of No Man's Sky. So with these videos, I want to create a series of beginner's guides that answer most questions that any new player might have. Now for this playthrough, we're going to be playing on normal because that's what I figure most people are going to be playing on. So let's get right into it. No Man's Sky. Alright, here we are. Now, the very first thing that you need to be concerned about is the fact that you're dying. And you're dying pretty quickly. As you can see, that green toxic bar there. Once that runs out, I'm going to start to take damage. Once I get into the cave, my hazard protection will once again fill back up, so I'm not dying anymore. Alright, so the game is telling me that I need to gather ferret dust. So hopefully when you start out your game, there will be a cave close by that you can get into, so you're not constantly being killed. Other than that, you need to get your scanner fixed as quickly as possible. So all you need to do is, once you first start out, you start looking around, you can see that this is mainly carbon, and then this one over here is mainly ferret dust. So this is the thing that we need to repair our scanner. Bring up my menu, click on the scanner, and repair it. Sodium is the thing that you're going to need in order to repair your hazard protections. And every time, the first planet that you're going to start out on is going to be a hazardous planet, so it's going to be constantly trying to kill you, so you're going to need a decent amount of that sodium. So all we need to do is just hit our scanner like I just did there. And the yellow up there, the Na, that's the sodium that you're looking for. So just remember, as soon as you start out, that's what you're working for. If you don't have a cave nearby, you need to get that sodium as quickly as possible so you don't get yourself killed. So I just wanted to stress that to brand new players, because I think that when you just start out the game, like the game has a great tutorial, but you're absolutely brand new, you're just learning the systems of the game. It can be a little bit stressful when you first start out and the game is telling you right away that your hazard protection is almost gone, you're going to die, and you need to get these elements as quickly as possible, and then you're trying to figure out all the mechanics of the game at the same time, so it can be a little bit stressful first when you start the game. Now, the game has a very excellent tutorial. It teaches you the basics very well, but there are a few things that I would like to go over that I think that new players might like to know when they first start out the game. Now, the first thing that I'm going to touch on is that you can actually toggle your view from third person, which they start you in, which I think is a great view. It's very cool. You get to see your character, which is nice, but I personally like to play in first person. So it's very easy. You go into the same menu where you recharge your hazard protection, but instead of going up to recharge, you just go over to your utilities and go up, and then the furthest one over to the right is toggle view. Hit that and it brings you into first person view. Now, another thing that I would like to talk about is all these containers that you see here. You'll find these all over the planet. Sometimes they'll have very useful things in them for you. Usually these little red ones, if you search those, they'll give you some sort of resource. And if you look in the damaged container, usually the damaged container, I've never seen anything other than rusted metal. You can sell it for a small amount of units, but for me, the rusted metal is not that useful. Then these yellow containers are actually very useful. They usually have some very good items in them. They give you items that you can create from other resources. This is another container that'll give you very good items as well, but you require an Atlas pass in order to get it, and we'll be going over that later on in the series. Don't need to be concerned about these containers here just yet. Now, the damaged machinery, this is an item that I really like to come across when I'm out exploring the world. I actually look for these sometimes. Basically, you just look at these. Sometimes they'll have something on them that's worth taking. Fascium, sometimes you can find a use for this. Right now I'm just going to delete it. But once you get rid of whatever gunk it is that's on the damaged machinery, you'll see that it gave me nanites. I will reference nanites quite a few times in this series. It is an extremely good currency. You buy some very useful things out of it, which you'll see later on in the series. Investigate the crashed ship. Iteration 2394829084924924924G. Online. Atlas connection. Intermittent. Launch thrusters offline. Pulse engine offline. Captain's log. I find myself alone on a strange world, unequipped and in danger. I have no memory of how I got here, no sense of a before. But this ship at least seems to recognize me. Controls react to my touch, or at least to that of my exosuit. I'm not dead yet, and this ship is a lifeline out to the stars. Read log, connect exosuit. Yeah, let's go right ahead with connect exosuit. Strange spaceship. Yeah, let's just connect ourselves straight into that thing. Your ship is a piece of crap. You need to fix it pronto. Pulse engine busted. We need to repair a pulse engine. We need to repair a pulse engine hermetic seal. Repair launch thrusters. Repair launch thrusters. Okay, so we need medical plating. Medical plating, yes. Metal plate. We need metal plating. Hermetic seal. So our pulse engine is busted, and our launch thrusters are busted. And our toxic protection is falling. While you're walking around the planet, one really good way of getting around quickly is just start running, hit your melee button, and at the same time boost. And as you can see, it launches you forward. If you're running and you just hit the boost, you'll just go straight up in the air. That's actually a feature that's been around for quite some time, and I'm glad they've kept it in the game. It's very cool, very useful.
Appear inside the beacon's housing, as well as its distress broadcast unit. It contains a planetary chart. That sounds like a useful thing. Alright, planetary chart times 1.
Now, it seems that we have a storm on the go here. And the storms on the planets will make your hazard protection go down even quicker. So they can be very hazardous. So you're best off either taking shelter in a cave or taking shelter in your ship. Luckily, we've come across these buildings. And of course, inside of the buildings, our hazard protection goes back up as well. How would you even say? Leaving behind in the fabricator might be of some use. Visor damaged. Can't find ship. Captain's log. The log finishes, and the machine whirs to life, spitting out supplies. I have the hermetic seal. I need to repair my ship. Alright, so the storm is over. Thankfully, those storms usually don't last all that long on most planets, but now you will find some very hazardous planets that the storms are more frequent. So those planets are actually quite hazardous. But there are other precautions that you can take to make those planets a lot more safe, including the exocrafts, which we'll be checking out in a future video. But if you want to check out the exocrafts before we get to them in the series, I actually have a video specifically on exocrafts that you guys can check out, and I will link that at the end of the video. Now, early on in the game on your first planet, if you come across anything like this, subterranean relic, I would advise that you pick it up. Most of the time you're going to come across those in the caves on your first planet. As you can see, sometimes you'll get the tetra cobalt from it, which is worth a decent amount of units, especially early on in the game. And these as well. The vortex cube itself is worth a decent amount. Alright, I'm still in the process of repairing my ship there, but there is another thing that I came across that's actually a pretty useful thing to know. You already know that you mine stuff with your mining laser there, but if you continue to mine, you'll notice that up in the top right hand corner there's a bar that's constantly filling up. And you'll notice that your mining laser actually changes color as you get closer to the end of the line. Now, if you let that bar fill all the way up, your mining tool will overheat and you'll have to wait for it to cool down. But if you can keep it close to the end of the bar without it overheating, your mining tool will actually do more damage and will mine quicker. Once it gets to the end there, oh, that's a creature. I've never seen that before.
That thing was an actual creature. It looked like it was just a rock, but it was it? That's so cool. Come back, buddy, I didn't mean it.
He's all scared now. I'm sorry, buddy. Animal, easily startled, mostly rocks. I will call you Bob. So, we got our ship all repaired. Now it's time to take to the stars. Alright guys, here we go. And away we go. Entering atmosphere. Like a glove. Captain's log. I have arrived on a strange new world. But I have followed a transmission that has led me to this signal source. I will now investigate. Burp. The sparking wires of the machinery generate a signal, tapping out its broadcast into the void. Whoever left this message is long gone. Decoding 16. No fuel in. Failed to reach station. Hazard protection low. No choice but to. Underground. Deployed base computer. Now I've turned into a robot. With any luck, the base computer will hold more information about whoever is leaving these messages. Base computer needs some chromatic metals. Terrain manipulator needs carbon nanotubes and dihydrogen jelly. Alrighty, we got to mine some copper. This planet is hazardous too. It's hot as hell. It's hot as hell down here. Captain's log. Made it to a new planet. It's hot as hell down here. Alright, we've reached our new planet, and these save points are pretty cool. Once you activate them, you'll discover the area. And your discoveries will come in handy later on. Now, we've created our terrain manipulator, and we're going to continue on with the tutorial. But there are a few things that I'm going to want to show you with that terrain manipulator that is very useful. So right now we're trying to find some copper, so we're using our analysis visor to find that. But while you're using your analysis visor to find your copper, you may see these buried technology modules, and that's something that I want to talk about right now. It's definitely worth it just to take a little detour to get a few of these technology modules. So you get your terrain manipulator. You can dig up the ground now. And you'll see we have 2 salvage data. And if we go in and have a look at it, just 2 salvage data is worth 100,000 units. So that salvage data is actually a very important thing in the game. It's very good for making units, but the primary purpose of the salvage data is to unlock blueprints, and you'll see that later on in the game. But you'll definitely not regret getting a bunch of that salvage data. Also with your terrain manipulator, you can see that You can dig holes. If you're on a planet that's hazardous, you can very quickly make your own cave and get your hazard protection back up. Also, now that you have your analysis visor, you can analyze plants, you can analyze rocks, and you can analyze the creatures that are on the planet. And each time you do this, not only does it give you units, and you can actually get a scanner upgrade that will give you even more units. You can get to the point where you're getting like a lot of units for everything that you scan, but you're actually making discoveries, and later on in the game you'll get to a point where you can turn those discoveries in for more nanites. And just to talk a little bit more about those discoveries, if you go to your options menu, you can see that once you've made the discoveries, you can go to the planet and you can see where it says upload. So if you actually upload that, you'll get nanites for every upload that you make as well. And another thing that I forgot to mention is you can actually set waypoints. So I can tag this by holding square on PlayStation, and then I've got a nice little waypoint on my heads up display. Mining that copper, mining that copper, mining that copper. Alright, let's place our portable refiner down again in order to make our chromatic metal from our copper. Now, one thing to keep in mind with these portable refiners, that something that I have done many times, and basically is something that you need to keep in mind with any of the portable technologies that you're going to unlock during the game. Make sure you pick it up before you leave the planet. I have so many times in my playthroughs I've forgotten to pick it up, and I leave the planet and I'm like in the next system or several systems away, and then I remember, oh crap, I forgot my portable refiner or whatever it happened to be. It's not usually that big of a deal because you can make one again pretty easily, but I like to make sure to pick mine up so that I always have one on me to place down whenever I need it. Now we've got our base blueprints unlocked, so I'm going to get to building my little outpost. Now you see on that picture, that is an amazing looking little base. When you first start off, you're going to have very basic building blueprints, but you will eventually get to the point where you can get some very cool blueprints unlocked and build a base just like that, or even bigger and better. If you go look at videos online, people have made absolutely crazy, absolutely amazing things in this game, and I would definitely encourage anyone to go onto YouTube and look up the crazy things that other people have made in this game. Now we've created our construction research unit, and this is the first time that you'll be able to see how you use your salvage data. As you can see in here, you got the base teleport module, and it takes 2 salvage data in order to unlock that. So we're still following the tutorial here. So far we've built the base teleporter, and we've built the biofuel reactor to power the base teleporter. In order to get any power out of the biofuel at all, you need to power it with, as you can see here, oxygen, condensed carbon. We're going to put the carbon in there. Like, that was well over 400 carbon that I had to put in there, and it barely powered this thing at all. It's only powering it for 7 minutes and 40 odd seconds. That is not great. So the only thing that I really use this biofuel reactor for is early on in the game, I use it to power things for a short period of time. So for instance, like if I need to teleport somewhere, I'll just put enough carbon in there to power it long enough that I can teleport to wherever it is that I want to teleport to, and then that's it. That's all I use it for, is just temporary power. Because later on in the game you will get to the point where you will unlock the batteries and the solar panels, and then that's a much more efficient way of powering everything that's in your base. Captain's log. The base computer archives have reached their end. It seems there is nothing more I will learn from them. my predecessor appears to have left their base and headed to the space station. To the stars! Dano would love this space station. She loves yellow. So this is where I'm going to end off this video, guys. Next video I'll start off with a tour of the space station. Hope you guys got some useful information from this video. Let me know down in the comments if this video helped you out any. And if you guys enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, really helps me out a lot. And just remember, until next time, stay where you're at, and I'll come where you're to.